The engagement and
rescued 83 American hostages and citizens detained from abroad without paying a lot of money, paid no money. Apprehended terrorists responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing that claimed the lives of 13 U.S. service members in Afghanistan, the lowest point in the history of our country. That was a Biden disaster. I was getting out, but I was getting out with dignity and strength. We were the boss. Oh, we were the boss. They wouldn't do a thing against us. And this very stupid person got in, and what a shame. They should have left from Bagram, which is the big military base, which has hundreds of acres around it. Should have left from Bagram. Terminated visas of Hamas sympathizers and deported pro-jihad foreign nationals. Got NATO members to agree to raise defense spending to 5% of GDP from 2%, and they pay the 5%, and they didn't pay the 2%. And by the way, I did more for NATO than any other person alive or dead. Nobody's done for NATO. And I think for the most part, they'll tell you that. I think you could ask the Secretary General about that, but he said it a lot. I've done more for NATO than anybody, and I see all this stuff, but NATO has to treat us fairly, too. The big fear I have with NATO is we spend tremendous amounts of money with NATO, and I know we'll come to their rescue, but I just really do question whether or not they'll come to ours. You know, I'm just asking. Just saying, right? You remember during the debate? Just saying. Signed $1 trillion investment in U.S. military. And next year, we hopefully will go to $1.5 trillion. We're building battleships that are 100 times more powerful than the battleships of World War II, which are the big, beautiful, those big, beautiful things with the guns. I said, what about bringing them out of dry dock? They said, sir, what we're building will blow them away. Think of it. These ships are 100 times more powerful than the battleships that you see on Victory at Sea. Do you ever see Victory at Sea? What a great thing that is to watch. Renamed the Department of Defense into the Department of War, which everyone loves, by the way. Signed landmark critical minerals deals with Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, Ukraine, Japan, and many others. We're going to have so much rare earth. It's actually not that rare. Getting it processed is rare, but there's a lot of rare earth. There's a lot of earth around, I can tell you. Withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization, where we were paying hundreds of millions of dollars a year. So we were paying $500 million a year, and China was paying $37 million a year. I said, why aren't we paying the same as China? They said, well, nobody asked. I said, China's got 1.4 billion people. We have 350 million, probably, with all the illegals, you know. China probably knows more accurately. But we have much smaller in terms of the number of people. We have a much more powerful military, but we have much smaller. I rebuilt the military during my first term, by the way. And while they gave away a lot to Afghanistan, the Taliban, which was just horrible seeing them. Every year, seeing them do that military down some dirty street is a disgrace. But while Biden gave a lot of it away, it's a tiny fraction compared to what we did. I rebuilt the military, and now we're continuing to build it. And bigger and better, we need it, peace through strength. But we withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. So I remember we were paying $500 million. They were paying 37 or 39 million. And I said, how come? So I withdrew, and they called, we'll give you the same deal that they had. I said, well, it should be less than that, because if they're at 37 and you have 3 times, 4 times the number of people, even maybe 5 times, I don't know. So it should be less, but I didn't want to chisel around. And I thought about it. So I could have taken 500 million to 37, and everybody knew it. I chose not to do it because it was actually very popular when I got out because they were terrible. And so I chose not to take that deal. First thing Biden did is go back into it. You know what he paid? More than 500 million. So I actually called them. I said, you know, you can buy it for less. You can make a deal at 37. There's no reason to pay 500. They didn't care. They paid more than 500. Did you know that? They paid more than 500 million. I made a deal at 37. I could have had 37. They were public about it. We'll give you the same deal that China has for 37. And they paid 500. They paid $500 million. That's the way you ruin a country. And it's the same attitude that, you know, you have on everything else with these people. They were terrible. The anti-American UN Human Rights Council we ended. The UN Relief and Works Agency we ended. And the fake Paris Climate Accord, which was a ripoff of America, where we had to pay $1 trillion and they were paying nothing. China didn't kick in until 2035. We kicked in immediately. We were supposed to pay $1 trillion. Russia went to a standard of 1991, which was a dirtier standard. But we had to pay top dollar. So I terminated that. Another Rick. We ended the woke lunacy and restored common sense, abolished all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI policies throughout the federal government and the private sector. They're gone, everybody. They're gone. Terrible. Terminated the Green New Scam and ended the insane electric vehicle mandate. I love electric vehicles. That caused me a little problem with a man named Elon. But he understands, and he's a good guy. We get along. But I said, Elon, we can't have all electric cars. Just can't do it. I like the electric cars. I like his car. But in particular, I like his car. But we can't do that because some people don't want an electric car by 2030. And to build the power stations all over the country would have cost $4 trillion. $4 trillion, that's more than... You know, we have 62% of the market when you include Venezuela. So I ended the Green New Scam and I ended the insane electric vehicle mandate. Now you can buy a gasoline-powered car, a hybrid, and you can buy a electric vehicle. I mean, if you think, if you want electric, you can buy it. Make a good deal on them right now because they made a lot of them. Permanently stop Joe Biden's ridiculous CAFE standards. That's having to do with the environment. So ridiculous. Cancel the EPA's absurd, totally absurd, tailpipe emission standard, which made you spend hundreds of thousands. It made for hundreds of thousands of cars. The numbers, the cost numbers were incredible that the consumer has to pay. Impose 25% tariff on all foreign automobiles and 100% tariff on Chinese cars which don't come into the country because of tariffs. Only because of tariffs. We didn't have tariffs, you wouldn't have any car. We have now more car factories being built in the United States than ever before because of tariffs. If they take those tariffs away, China will eat our lunch. They'll take all of our car business. Now, there's another way of doing it, but it's more cumbersome, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to scare you, but it's much more cumbersome, not as good for national security as this. We have a perfect system right now. We're making a fortune. We've never been stronger, and I hope the Supreme Court does the right thing for our country, because if they don't, it's such a problem. It's just so, it would be so sad. We're doing so well because of tariffs. And the people that are heading up the lawsuit, like there's a guy named Leonard Leo, who's bad guy, and people that are very China-oriented and foreign car-oriented and foreign business-oriented, but in particular China, they're suing to get rid of tariffs because they don't want tariffs, like Coke. Coke has businesses outside of the United States. If you have them outside, you don't want tariffs. But because of tariffs, they treat us well. Without tariffs, they would treat us very badly, as you saw for many years. They respect us more now than they ever have respected us, by a lot. And revoked the California emissions waiver to stop San Francisco communists from regulating the automobile industry and destroying automobiles and the industry in the nation. I was with Bill Ford of Ford Motors. I was with all the people at General Motors the other day, and they are making more money and building more cars than they are doing so good. All because of tariffs and what I've done. And they're building their plants all in the United States. We opened Anwar for drilling. That's a big deal. Launched a massive Alaskan pipeline project to export natural gas to Asia. We made a deal with South Korea and with Japan that gives us money, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. Signed executive orders to end Biden's war on coal and put, I say, clean, beautiful coal. I never say the word coal. It has to be preceded by the words clean, beautiful coal. And put miners back to work. The miners love Trump. I think I got 100% of their vote. We banned transgenders from the military. We don't want transgender in the military. Ordered reinstatement of patriots expelled from our military with full back pay. So we had some people that were terminated and they're coming back into our military. Fired the woke boards of visitors at our military service academies. The boards of visitors were run by radical left, maybe communists, maybe not, but they were still heavily radical left and they were bad for us. Signed an executive order to remove anti-American propaganda from federal museums and national parks. Required the federal employees to return to work in person or be fired. We don't want them sitting in their home on their bed working. We want them in an office that we're paying for in Washington, D.C. or wherever it may be. Then we've largely taken care of that mess. That was crazy. I guarantee you they're out on the ball fields. I guarantee you they're out playing golf. And you can't run a country or a company that way. I think it's happening even so with countries and companies. But we had so many of our federal workers that wouldn't come into work. Signed an order banning all government censorship and restoring free speech. Made it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders. This was not a tough one. Two genders. Can anybody guess what they are? Male and female. I think the Democrats know that too, but they refuse to admit it. Ban the use of puberty blockers, hormone injections, and other chemical and surgical mutilation of children. Can you imagine saying this 15 years ago?
And I want to give a shout out to my homeboy Buck, who, he decided it's Kevin's book. And it's a good read. It's a good read. It's interracial trauma from a black perspective. Trauma. And what's basically in it is that, intergeneration on how previous videos y'all saw with everybody family going from food stamps to GR, and it's like you're doing it for the whole leaning on government relationship. Never could get past the next goal. So he created this book, and I believe he's going to be having another book coming out, trauma from a black perspective. See, he's been hard work, hard your work, foundation black American work into this book. That is a good teacher. Go check this book out. It's on Amazon. I'll put it in if you go down through our history books, you'll find interracial trauma in every culture or group of people. One of the main problems is somebody wanting to reign supreme over someone else. And another, the program, and then make sure that check don't stop coming. So go over there and check out this don't cost like much. And we're gonna get back with the show, so and I have a little book coming out for parents to read with their what it does when I was learning these techniques was to reduce the anxiety, to not put pressure on themselves, to give them accountability on their part. So that's what this program is. That's what our solution is coming. So that's coming out. So, so far, the screen is really jumping. Let's see. Trump.
Dell computer, who put in 6,250,000,000, started with nothing, and he actually invested all that money to give to kids, so that when they grow up, they have an account that might be worth a lot of money. It'll be riding with the markets, and they can, at 20 years old, 21 years old, they could have $100,000. They could have a lot of money. That's going to be amazing. But I give a lot of credit to Mr. and Mrs. Michael Dell. Signed AI executive order to ensure the United States dominates the future of artificial intelligence. So we're leading China. We're leading the whole world. We're producing more electricity than we ever have because I'm allowing every one of those plants to build their own electric facility. We're giving them very, very fast approvals, unlike Los Angeles with the fire. So the federal government, I want to give a lot of credit to Lee Zeldin. The hardest approval for the 20,000 houses or more that burned down in Los Angeles because they didn't have the water. They didn't allow the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest. They routed the water into the Pacific Ocean. So we had no water there. No, he had. I would say open up the water. Open it up to the governor, to the mayor. They didn't want to do it. They wanted to protect a tiny little fish that's, I said, how can you have a fish when you don't have any water? It was just an excuse, I guess. But it's amazing. We took 20,000 houses, and Lee Zeldin, the toughest permit is from the federal government. Within 2 weeks, every single permit was given to the people to build their houses. Then you have the incompetent mayor of Los Angeles. He's neutral, who decided to go to Africa during the fire. So you have this incompetent mayor, and I had it out with her the night when I got, right after the fire, I went there. She said, we're working on it so that we can have everybody starting to build within 2 or 3 years. Remember that? I said, you mean 2 or 3 days? No, I mean 2 or 3 years. And the place went crazy. Well, they still haven't gotten their permits. But every federal permit, every single one has been given a year ago. And Lee Zeldin has done a great job. And he's done a great job in the approval of all these big plants and factories and all of the electricity that they're creating for themselves. I said to Zuckerberg, I said to all of them, I said to Jeff Bezos, I said to everybody. Mark Zuckerberg couldn't believe it. He said, where are we going to get all the electricity? Because you need double the electricity that the country currently makes just to fire up those big plants. I said, well, Nobody can do that. So what we're going to do is let you make your own electricity. Nobody believed it. And I said, we're going to get you fast permits. So we get them within 2 weeks. And they're coming up with some of the most incredible electric plants you've ever seen. So each one of those massive buildings, AI or otherwise, is building their own electricity. They're building their own plant. And it's incredible. Many of them are under construction already. They're going to have, we're leading AI, and we're leading China by a lot. Established a MAHA presidential commission, banned many artificial food dyes, as you know, issued new vaccine recommendations, and created new real food pyramid. And Bobby and Dr. Oz have been incredible. Provided $12 billion in aid for American farmers. Just gave them $12 billion in aid because they got screwed by other nations. And the number of drug dealers have fallen every single month since I took office. Drug dealers are way down in the United States, and that's a small version of what's sitting right there. That's just a small version. We took a country that was dead, and it's the hottest country in the world right now, and that's after 1 year. So let's go. That's a lot of people.
Wait, he's just starting the press conference?
Two questions for you. One, do you want your Board of Peace to replace the UN?
Well, it might. I mean, the UN just hasn't been very helpful. I'm a big fan of the UN potential, but it has never lived up to its potential. The UN should have settled every one of the wars that I settled. I never went to them. I never even thought to go to them. They should be able to settle those wars. They don't. I believe you got to let the UN continue because the potential is so great.
And I wonder you invited Lula from Brazil to be part of the Board of Peace.
I did.
What role do you expect him to play, especially
a big role. I like
Venezuela?
Yeah,
and another one, because the
Are you from Brazil?
Yes. The EU and Mercosur just signed a trade agreement this weekend, which is going to be the biggest trade zone, free zone in the world.
Right.
At the moment, you are talking a lot about tariffs. What is your reaction to that? So, two questions.
Well, I just think this. I think we have trade like we've never had before. We're doing better in trade than we ever have before. We're not being ripped off by every country in the world like we were before. We're doing numbers that nobody's ever thought possible. We're the richest we ever were. It's because of tariffs and the proper use of tariffs, and we're also the most secure. As an example, Iceland, without tariffs, they wouldn't even be talking to us about it. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to work out quite well. Yeah, right behind.
Thank you, Mr. President. How would you characterize your relationship with Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer right now? And have you spoken to them since your Truth Social post last
No, I haven't, but I think I get along very well with them. I mean, they always treat me well. They get a little bit rough when they're, when I'm not around. But when I'm around, they treat me very nicely. And, I like both of them. They're both liberal. They've got to straighten out their countries. You can't, London is having a lot of problems. And if you look at Paris, got a lot of problems. They have two problems, immigration and energy. They got to stop with the windmills, and they got to go back like UK has an unbelievable asset called the North Sea. Norway uses it, makes a fortune. They have a better section of it, and they don't do it. They could straighten out their countries, and it would be good. But I get along very well with them.
You told Norway's prime minister.
Are you from Norway?
No.
You look like you would be from Norway. She looks like she's from Norway. Go ahead.
You told Norway's prime minister that you not winning the Nobel Peace Prize made you feel less obligated to think purely of peace.
Well, I lost a lot of respect for Norway. And I believe very strongly that Norway controls the Nobel Prize. But you have to understand, I settled 8 wars. I've had every one of those wars, every participant wrote, I didn't ask them to do it. They sent in strong they make recommendations for that. But I settled 8 wars. No president's probably ever settled 1 war. I don't know, think of it. I did 8. The reason I do it is because it's easy for me to do. And I didn't do it for a Nobel Prize. I did it because I'm saving a lot of lives. I'm trying to settle the final one. I'm trying to do Russia-Ukraine. And when Russia's ready, Ukraine's not. When Ukraine's ready, Russia's not. but they're losing 25,000 people a month on average. And I'm trying to get that one done. But no, I feel that Norway has tremendous control over who gets the Nobel Prize, despite what they say.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Thank you, Mr. President. Kevin Hassett has said that those $2,000 tariff rebate checks would be up to Congress to decide whether or not to disperse that. Do you agree with Kevin Hassett on that, or do you think you can do that unilaterally?
No, I don't think we would have to go the Congress route, but we'll find out. The reason we're even talking about it is that we have so much money coming in from tariffs that we'll be able to issue at least a $2,000 dividend and also pay down debt for the country. But we'd do a $2,000 dividend to the people of our country. Would probably set a limit of, income limit where it made sense. But we will be able to make a very substantial dividend to the people of our country. I believe we can do that without Congress.
Last night on Truth Social, you said that the British plan to hand the base at Diego Garcia over to Mauritius and then rent it back was an act of great stupidity. Previously, you backed that deal. Is it now your position that the deal should not go ahead?
I think that they, when they originally were going to do it, they were talking about doing some concept of ownership. But now they're looking to essentially just do a lease and sell it. And I'm against that. It's a reasonably nothing like Greenland, but it's a reasonably important area of the globe. Not to anywhere near Greenland, but I think they should keep it. I don't know why they're doing it. Do they need money?
Mr. President, with your support to the Syrian government, most probably you avoided another civil war and a bloodshed in Syria, especially after the fall of the regime.
I did a good job.
And, the Syrian government, the last 2 weeks, had to use some force to implement its force on specific areas. And
well,
with
to keep the prisoners, the terrorist prisoners, which are some of the worst in the world, at bay, so they were able to keep that. He's working very hard. The president of Syria is working very, very hard. Strong guy, tough guy, pretty rough resume, but you're not going to put a choir boy in there and get the job done. I spoke with him yesterday because we were talking about the prisons and what was going on. We have some of the worst terrorists in the world in those prisons, and he's watching them.
Syria, sir.
Mr. President, Gavin Newsom is going to be at Davos if he's not already there. You're probably going to run into him. I presume that this is for him to raise his platform for 2028, but what do you anticipate his foreign policy platform is going to be?
I don't know. I don't know that he's going to be the nominee. I know this. I had a very good relationship with Gavin Newsom when we were, in office together. I was president. He was the governor of California. We had he would talk about it often, and somewhere we just went astray. I just hate the way California is being run. We actually have people leaving. It's never happened before, but I hate the way it's being run. He and I had a very good relationship, really close to the word exceptional, but now we seem not to.
You spoke earlier. Mr. President, you've been hearing from allies.
Thank you so much, President Trump. Kara Castanova from Lindell TV. Sure. And you spoke earlier about the 2020 election. Now that Maduro is in U.S. custody and he was criminally charged, has any more information emerged that you could share with us regarding Venezuelan election software and Venezuelan ties to tampering with the 2020 election? And would you consider speaking to Maduro personally in prison in New York to get some answers on Venezuela's involvement with the 2020 election?
No, I don't think I would be doing that. I think my lawyers would be very unhappy if I did. Yeah, they've learned some things. Please.
What happens to the tariff threat to Greenland if the Supreme Court comes out and rules against you on the tariffs? And
well, I'll have to use something else.
Are you willing to use force?
Take a look at the word license. Take a look at other things. We have other alternatives. But what we're doing now is the best, the strongest, the fastest, the easiest, the least complicated.
Sir, if you move ahead with the Greenland-related tariffs on Europe, you secured almost $1 trillion of commitments from them to invest in the United States. Does that go kaput out the window if that happens?
I doubt it. Look, they need that agreement very badly with us. They really do. They fought very hard to get it. So I doubt that, but we'll see what happens. We have a lot of meetings scheduled on Greenland. I'm leaving tonight, as you know, for Davos. And we have a lot of meetings scheduled on Greenland. And I think things are going to work out pretty well, actually.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will you still go to Paris for the G7 emergency meeting as offered by President Macron?
No, I wouldn't do that. No. Because, you know, Emmanuel's not going to be there very long. And, you know, there's no longevity there. He's a friend of mine. He's a nice guy. I like Macron. But he's not going to be there very much longer, as you know. And I think, you know, I have meetings with the people that are directly involved, not some of the people you're talking about.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Happy
I've never seen this room like this. Is this a celebration of the first year?
Yes.
Have you ever seen it? I've never seen this many. I hope we have a very good. I hope we have a very good structural floor. You know, this used to be a swimming pool. You're sitting over a swimming pool. I could see that happening. But we need a good structure here, don't we? Huh? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Happy 1 year anniversary.
Thank you.
And my question is on Syria. The Kurds, as the most loyal U.S. partners, facing attacks by some Syrian elements within the Syrian government. Will you do to ensure the Kurdish rights protected and their effective forces against terrorism in Rojava, Syria continue, as the Kurdish see you as a president does not abandon his allies?
Well, I like the Kurds, but just so you understand, the Kurds were paid tremendous amounts of money, were given oil and other things, so they were doing it for themselves, more so than they were doing it for us, but we got along with the Kurds, and we are trying to protect the Kurds. That's correct.
Ahead of your speech in Davos, can you give us a preview of what we can expect as far as, you know, laying out the plans for Americans to be able to buy homes?
I think more than anything else, what I'm going to be speaking about is the tremendous success that we've had in 1 year. I didn't think we could do it this fast. Think of it, it's just now 12 months, and you know, I say it often, we have the most successful country in the world, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, and this country would have been absolutely stone cold dead. And I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be, because, you know, a lot of them could use some of the advice as to what we did. They need energy. You take a look at their energy policy, they're going to destroy themselves with what they're doing with the windmills and all the nonsense. They need energy help badly, or they're going to be in big trouble, and they need immigration help badly. How much longer do you want to go?
Yes, call it.
I do. I have a very important call with President Erdogan, who I like a lot. All right, one or two more questions. Go ahead.
Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. During your second.
Go ahead.
One question about the
Red.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The red blouse. Go ahead.
You talked a lot at the beginning of this about the economy, some positive economic indicators. Polling shows the majority of Americans don't feel the economy is doing well. Are you worried you're making the same mistake as President Biden?
No, I hope I don't make the same mistake as him. Look, I inherited a terrible, it's a great question, because we inherited a terrible, terrible mess. Between the border, between all the problems, the whole country was falling apart. And in 12 months, less than 12 months, in 12 months, we have the strongest border we've ever had. We have prices that are much, much lower than they were for the last. We inherited very high prices. We inherited, remember this, inflation was at a historic high. We had never had inflation like that. They say 48 years, but whether it's 48 years or ever, we had the highest inflation, in my opinion, that we've ever had. Prices, because of that, were very high. We brought down eggs immediately. Remember the first news conference, they were screaming at me about eggs. I was in the position for 2 days, and we brought eggs down to lower than what they were before. And by the way, they continue that way. We brought the prices down from when I came into office and from what Biden had, way down. We're going to bring them down further. But the job we did is a miracle. One of the reasons I'm doing this today is to explain. We inherited a mess, and we've made it a beautiful, beautiful picture. Think of gasoline at $1.99 in many states. $1.99 a gallon. It was $4.50, $5. In some cases, $6 or $7. We're at $1.99. And energy is so big that with energy, everything else comes down. But the prices are coming way down. And we're going to bring them down further. But we started up here with these guys. We inherited a country that was broken. We inherited a country, and I have a very warm spot. We've done very well with Venezuela. And by the way, that even in itself is going to help us bring down the oil prices. I mean, the Venezuelan oil, we've taken 50 million gallons of oil. We've taken 50 million barrels of oil out of Venezuela in the first 4 days. We've got millions of barrels of oil left. We're selling it on the open market. We're bringing down oil prices incredibly. And when they come down, and they've already come down, again, $1.99 a gallon for oil. Nobody thought they'd ever see it. All right, one or two more. Go ahead, go, yes.
President, I want to ask you about Iran. Is the military option still on the table? And can you assure us that the killing in Iran has stopped? And when regard to the Peace Council, which members have to pay $1 billion?
So with Iran, are you from Iran?
No, I cover the White House.
Where are you from?
I'm Palestinian American.
So with Iran, they were going to hang 837 people. And I let them be known that, and we let them know that if that happens, that will be a very bad day for them. And they decided not to do it. They didn't hang the people. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future, but supposedly they've taken that off the table. But they were going to, last week, they were going to hang on Thursday or Wednesday. They were going to hang, I think, 837 people. And they didn't hang anybody. So we're just going to have to see what happens with Iran. Is the military option off the table?
Thank you, Mr. President. President Trump.
Thank you, President
Go
Trump.
ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Go ahead, I'll take your question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Go
Mr.
ahead, right here.
Thank you, Mr. President. You promised during your second inaugural to always put America first. I'm curious, how would you winning the Nobel Peace Prize improve the lives of average, everyday Americans? Why is this prize so important?
It wouldn't improve the lives of any. What improved the lives of people are people that are living. I saved probably tens of millions of lives in the wars. You know, if you add up the numbers, just if you look at any one of those wars, you're talking about millions of people. You multiply it times 8. But when you look at India and Pakistan, that could have been 10, 15, 20 million people. Could have been more than that. So I saved millions of people. So that to me is the big thing. What?
You suggested a moment ago that perhaps the reason why a positive story about the economy isn't getting through is because of, bad communications people. But are average Americans wrong to still feel high prices? And how much longer does the White House hope that they?
So I think a lot of people are listening to the fake news a little bit. And I'm not blaming anybody. I think I blame ourselves. I think we've done a much better job than we're able to promote. We're not promoting. We're doing a great job, and we're sort of letting the promotion take care of itself. One of the reasons I'm doing this news conference, I think it's important. We have taken a mess and made it really good. It's going to get even better. But if you look at prices from a year or a year and a half ago, you look at the Biden prices, they were way up through the sky. And, they use the word affordability. They just say affordability, and they don't talk about it. They created the affordability problem, and we are solving it. We have solved a lot of it. Again, everybody agrees in this room, I think, gasoline prices have come per gallon way down. When that happens, everything else comes down, but they've come down way down. Many of the groceries have come way down. It's all happening, and it's happening strong. But if you go back a year and a half, 2 years, take a look at those prices and look at the prices now.
President of Venezuela, you made a condition.
Where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
Nice place.
Thank you. You made a condition that the political prisoners should be freed. It seems that they are not being as fast as they promised in the beginning. Would that be an issue for the current government?
They've agreed that they're going to let, I guess, most of them out. Or depends on what they did, but they have released a lot of. Released a lot of political prisoners in Venezuela.
President, earlier on last year, you had mentioned, you had indicated that you wanted to take back the Panama Canal. I know we've heard a lot about Greenland. Is that still on the table?
I don't want to tell you that. Sort of. I must say, sort of. That's sort of. Okay, one more. Yes, blonde, blue. Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead with the blue, holding the computer.
If a consequence of your determination to take control of Greenland is the ultimate breakup of the NATO alliance, is that a price you're willing to pay?
You mean the breakup of it's very interesting.
The NATO alliance.
So I think something's going to happen that's going to be very good for everybody. Nobody's done more for NATO than I have, as I said before, in every way. Getting them to go up to 5% of GDP was something that nobody thought was possible, and pay. At 2% they weren't paying. At 5% they are paying. And they're buying a lot of things from us, and they're giving them, I guess, to Ukraine. That's up to them, but they're giving them to whoever they're giving them to, but they're buying a lot. I think that we will work something out where NATO's going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important. How about it?
Thank you very much. First of all, last year you told me that you believe that the reason you won the election is because God put you in this place so that you could save the world. Looking back 1 year, do you feel like God is proud of the effort that you've put in?
I do, actually. I think God is very proud of the job I've done. And that includes for religion. You know, we're protecting a lot of people that are being killed. Christians, and Jewish people, and lots of people are being protected by me that wouldn't be protected by another type of president.
She decide that she doesn't love you once you developed this terrible personality? Is that also why you're single? I'm just curious, Pat.
It used to be a concentration camp.
Yeah, no, Nikki, I'm crying right now. Wham, wham. Actually, that's you. Y'all are in the comments crying. You guys suck at this whole rage baiting thing, if we're gonna be honest. Like, it's weak. MAGA is weak. Alright guys, if you want to help boost the live by liking, sharing, reposting, gifting, we have 3 rolling gift goals. If you want to give crabs to ICE, we can give crabs to ICE.
To make a statement.
Hopefully they don't find the proper shampoo.
Random people were supporting it. You guys are suffering Nazis. Greg, I know it's really embarrassing that your mom is a registered Democrat. I know you are embarrassed by that. I know that you have mommy issues, but you should probably just go to therapy. Stop getting short with us.
I don't know why everybody's running this stop sign.
And then your parents got divorced? Is that why you're so angry?
Oh, look.
They did the press conference inside. It just ended, everyone said.
Oh.
You guys did the press conference inside? What baby? Is it cold? Is it too cold to come outside? Or are you intimidated? Are you intimidated?
Do you not know where you are? You're in Minnesota in the middle of January.
Are you guys so intimidated? Are you too scared to come back to the stage? Justice will find you eventually. Is it too cold for you?
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Somebody who actually obeyed the traffic signs.
The Nuremberg trials will be televised.
Oh, thank you so much, Dingleberry.
The Nuremberg trials will be televised. We will have popcorn.
We will be on the jury.
Exactly, goat. Exactly. They're all fucking cowards. Every single one of them. That's why they hide their face. That's why they duck when they don't have a mask on. Because they are scared. We had one FedEx driver give the Yahtzee salute the other day. Let's see if that happens again.
What Minnesota in January is all about.
Hey guys, how funny is it that Jake Lang came to Minnesota? He fucked around and he found out.
It's a beautiful winter day in Minnesota. This is sledding weather. Where are you?
You're taking away from my skiing and snowboarding time to be out here. This is what we live for.
This is my gym time, guys. I gotta sacrifice my gym time to fight fascism. I need my gym time back.
Jana, thank you so much. What the fuck is this guy doing?
Now we're out here fighting against our grandparents' spot. Yes, Captain America punches Nazis. Yeah.
Hey, zombie soldier. Why don't you go to work, zombie soldier? You apparently have nothing to add. Why don't you go to work? Maybe stop living off.
You seen this one? And they're freaking out about that. They don't want to talk about it. Somebody had asked, I even had said, let's see how many questions there are about Minnesota. For 2 hours, he spoke. And then he took questions. He brought up Minnesota. The press didn't want to hear it. The press didn't even want to discuss it, which is going to piss off the lib nuts over in Minnesota, especially now that the FBI or a DOJ has served Tim Walz and Jacob Fry. They've actually now been served with their subpoenas. There is so much to recap. I would need another show just to recap. But let me hit on a couple of the important things. Prices, because somebody in the chat was saying the same thing. I've heard from other people that the prices are it's not doing that well. And I said to the guy in the chat, why don't you be a focus group of one? What is your life like? What are you experiencing? Stop looking for other people to tell you how you should feel. I keep telling you, I live in Boca, one of the most expensive areas in the country. And people here, the stores are packed, the restaurants are packed, the movie theaters are packed. You watched the football game with me yesterday. There's 66,000 people paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a ticket. I've been telling you that since July. I'm like, wait till football starts. And all the people saying how the economy sucks, just wait, just let your eyes show you. And now we're in the NFL championship. You're going to have the AFC and NFC games, I think, this weekend. Look if you see any empty seats. And then go on Ticketmaster and see how much those seats cost. And then, of course, the Super Bowl, which you don't even have to look at that.
Check out some of the Tim Walz to see where in the direction of some of these things is going. And someone just pulled up something. We're going to get over here to the show right now. Check this out. Check this out. It's right here. Opposite table. Right there. Walk, Jacob officially started a criminal investigation in Eden Heights.
Because their cost is don't show up to your asylum claim trial. No one is there. That means illegal aliens can pour into the country and there's nothing we can do about it. As many as their heart's desire. 605,000 people have been arrested. 60 to 70% were criminals. You're talking 400,000 plus criminals being arrested. And you say they're not doing their job and they should be abolished. Like I don't understand how these people do it. But I'm gonna leave it up to y'all. Let me know the verdict. Do you think Mamdani is guilty or not guilty? I want to finish with this. I want to show you guys the verdict of bourbon one more time. And I'm telling you this, the best bourbon that I have had thus far. I could not believe it when me and Jim was doing our phases of testing the bourbon and making sure the flavor profile was exactly what we expected to be. I could not believe that they could have that bourbon so smooth and still be good. And we figured, why would we, now we could have, why would we charge you, $200 for this bourbon and we can get you at a really, really good price that's better than everybody else, in my opinion. Therefore, we're gonna win. We're gonna take over the game. I'm just saying. Because you ain't gonna find no bourbon this good at that price point. It's not gonna happen. Now, I can't promise in the future it ain't gonna be something different, but right now, you better take advantage of it while you can. You gotta be 21 and over to participate and go to the website, and you need to be responsible. Responsible drinking, not drunkenness, none of the old crazy stuff. Having a sip here and there in a reasonable way is acceptable. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Follow me on social media at The Officer Tatum. I'll see you on the next one, and I cannot wait to share the grand opening and the verdict and have a sip with you guys. I'm out.
Well, I got to that. Okay, I got to that. This is a shot. Maybe because that officially started. Feel free. Wanna know more about that? Go up in there. And if you do it so I get alert, I'm gonna chime in. Maybe you may have better perspective. But for Tim Watt and Jacob Fry to officially be served in criminal investigations. This is the investigation. ICE, let alone everything sparked off from YouTube. Just wanted to check out the daycare scene. So feel free to go over there and check out the show. And I'm going to get to this one. This is going to be something. Here's something on Florida. It's Florida. It's 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Right here. All right, let's go to it. And this is D-Dog TV. 3 days ago.
Your cash balance is $0. Your SNAP balance is $582.
Y'all take EBT on that bit?
EBT?
Your cash balance is $0. Your SNAP balance is $582.
Y'all take EBT on that bit?
EBT?
Yeah, food stamps.
Well, guys. Here we go.
Who are you and why should I care?
Welcome to the channel, guys. If it is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel. Also, like this video. It really does help the channel. Guys, what the EBT recipient trying to do with their EBT is crazy. You guys need to watch this video. It's going to blow your mind.
Your cash balance is $0. Your SNAP balance is $582.
It's lit.
What?
Put your sneakers on.
It's lit.
Put your shoes
What?
on.
EBT, EBT, EBT. Hey. EBT, EBT, EBT. Hey. EBT, EBT, EBT. Ha, ha,
B motherfuckers. Chicken and cheese, BLT. Chicken and cheese, WLT. 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 EB, motherfucking T. EB.
Guys, do you see the excitement when these individuals get their EBT, when they get their free money? To go out there and spend it on whatever they like without lifting a finger. Must to be nice. Must to be nice, guys. Guys, the next video is the video that I was talking about. This video is gonna blow your mind, so stay tuned and watch until the end. You will see why.
Y'all take EBT on that bit?
EBT?
Yeah, food stamps. Like.
Hello, this is Justin speaking. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to today?
Yo, what up, my vanilla cracker?
Vanilla cracker.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I was looking on y'all site here, man, and I see a black BMW on there. I'm trying to cop that, you mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty nice vehicle we have here on our lot. What kind of questions do you have about it?
What?
I said, what kind of questions do you have about it?
All right, so my biggest question is...
Here we go.
I don't really got the funds right now, you mean?
Gotcha.
And,
yeah, we definitely offer financing, so
y'all take EBT on that bit?
Guys, are you guys listening to this conversation? This is wild. This gentleman, he's calling this dealership trying to purchase a BMW. And his offer is, it is illegal, first of all. And the salesperson, he's trying to be as professional as possible. Let's continue. This is going to get better.
EBT?
Yeah, food stamps. Like, you hook a brother up, I get you free food for your refrigerator, you mean?
Gotcha. So, let me get this straight.
I get that monthly so I can make the payment, you mean?
Let me get this straight. You're trying
Actually,
to use,
it's my baby mama's.
You're trying to use food stamps to purchase a vehicle.
Yeah.
You cannot make this up, guys.
Where'd you come up with this idea?
It's an original.
Original deal.
Gotcha. Yeah. So unfortunately, you cannot use EBT as down payment. You have to use, cash or check or some of that sort. But the thing is, you might not have to put money down. We can always, have you send in a credit application.
So hold on, player. So what I'm thinking is, you mean I give you my food stamps every month, and then you put the money down.
There you go. I give you my food.
Not only that, he gets food stamps on commission, and at the same time, have the car dealership will have their knee on his neck in debt. Think about that. So I'm gonna speed it up.
Stamps, that's his proposal. And you put the money down.
That is, I can't do that, sir. I'm pretty sure that's highly illegal.
Very illegal. Very illegal.
So with that there, y'all just go over and check out the residential. I don't want to eat it all up.
straight into the building. They have their people in the crowd. I don't know who, but they have people in the crowd apparently.
Hundreds of years later, it's giving little man behavior. It's giving, you guys can't admit, but you lost.
Oh, there's another one.
There's also stories that they've been dumping people in the parks after they've been brutalized, after they've had...
No, Pat, I'm not just figuring it out, but I just watched it firsthand. Hey, Pat, why doesn't your mom love you? I'm just curious. Did she decide that she doesn't love you once you developed this terrible personality? Is that also why you're single? I'm just curious, Pat.
Fort Snelling used to be a concentration camp.
Yeah, no, Nikki, I'm crying right now. Wham, wham. Actually, that's you. Y'all are in the comments crying. You guys suck at this whole rage baiting thing, if we're gonna be honest. Like, it's weak. MAGA is weak. Alright, guys. If you want to help boost the live by liking, sharing, reposting, gifting, we have 3 rolling gift goals. If you want to give crabs to ICE, we can give crabs to ICE.
To make a statement.
Hopefully they don't find the proper shampoo.
Random people are supporting it. You guys are fucking nuts. Greg, I know it's really embarrassing that your mom is a registered Democrat. I know you are embarrassed by that. I know that you have mommy issues, but you should probably just go to therapy. Stop getting short with us.
I don't know why everybody's running this stop sign.
And then your parents got divorced? Is that why you're so big?
Oh, look.
They did the press conference inside. It just ended, everyone said.
Oh.
You guys did the press conference inside? What baby? Is it cold? Is it too cold to come outside? Or are you intimidated? Are you intimidated?
Do you not know where you are? You're in Minnesota in the middle of January.
You guys so intimidated? Are you too scared to come off the stage? Justice will find you eventually. Is it too cold for you?
Yes! Thank you! Yes!
Somebody who actually obeyed the traffic signs.
The Nuremberg trials will be televised.
Oh, thank you so much, Dingleberry.
The Nuremberg trials will be televised. We will have popcorn.
We will be on the jury.
Exactly, goat.
Check out these channels, fair use. This is one that I believe that everybody really needs to comprehend. April chapter 4 from the welfare scam. No one wants to discuss.
This story was wild. It was wild because I want to ask you guys something. How does a really tiny, barely stocked store with no food, no customers, hardly, no inventory, how does a store like that somehow cash $500,000 a month, not a year, a month in food stamps? How you do that? Flag on the plate. We're not talking a Costco, right? We're not talking about Walmart. We're not talking about Kroger or H-E-B or Publix. We're talking about a little ghost store, right? Like just a
This happened. She put this up 4 hours ago. 4 hours ago. Check it out. Just check it out.
little store, like a little bodega, right? Like I'm from the Bronx. I grew up at the corner store where you went there for convenience, but you knew the markup was super high, but they at least had the basics, milk, bread, if you needed some sugar, some diapers, some pickled pig feet, you know, they had things that you're like, I know I can go here to get what I need, but it's not like my main choice. Well, there was this store up in Boston that was literally over $500,000 a month in food stamps. How are we supposed to believe that this just happened, right? Like, was there like no coordination, no instructions, no system knowledge? Is you want Americans to believe that we don't really know how this happened? Well, apparently, Americans, y'all, we're supposed to be stupid. We're supposed to be stupid. And so I ran across this bombshell federal case that, I don't know about you, but I think it should have every American outraged. Like, regardless of your political affiliation, you should be mad because this story isn't just about fraud. It's about who pays, who benefits, and who are the ones that get silenced when you dare ask questions. So let's take a look at this clip.
We are announcing federal charges against two men, Antonio Bonner and Saul Elisme, for large-scale SNAP benefit trafficking, a scheme that turned a program designed to feed families into a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise. SNAP benefits are also known as food stamps. The defendants are charged with one count of food stamp fraud. As alleged in the charging documents, these men abused one of the government's most critical safety net programs for their own financial gain. This is taxpayer money meant to keep people from going hungry. These defendants decided to take it for themselves. These defendants exchanged SNAP benefits for cash, which they pocketed. Bonner, a naturalized U.S. citizen from Haiti, owned the Chillout variety store. Elisme, a lawful permanent resident also from Haiti, owned the Saul Mache Mixe store. These two businesses were co-located within a single storefront in Boston. To be certain, these were not supermarkets. They were not full-service groceries. It would be a huge stretch to even call them convenience stores. In fact, the only thing convenient about these stores was how easy it was to commit SNAP benefit fraud. To put this in perspective, the Chillout variety store is less than 150 square feet in size, smaller than some bathrooms. The Saul Mache Mixe store was approximately 500 square feet in space. By contrast, a supermarket can be 20,000 to 60,000 square feet in size, have a dozen or more registers, and employ numerous employees. Both the Chillout variety and Saul Mache Mixe stores had one register, no carriages, no hand baskets, and very little food for sale. One legitimate supermarket in the same area as these stores redeems approximately $80,000 in SNAP benefits per month. Over the last 20 months, the Chillout variety store was redeeming between 3 and 6 times that amount monthly, with nowhere near the space, inventory, customers, or infrastructure to support it. The Saul Mache Mixe store redeemed over $120,000 in SNAP benefits in the last 6 months. Simply put, there is no plausible way SNAP eligible food could have been purchased from these stores for this long. Yet, these two stores are alleged to have illicitly trafficked nearly $7 million in SNAP benefits.
Y'all, ain't no way. Listen, I have been in retail. I was in retail for 11 years. My husband and I owned a furniture store. And at the height of our furniture store, we had 6,000 square feet. And furniture is pretty big, but your average tickets, our average ticket, I mean, a sectional, a sofa, a mattress. Do you know how much product you have to move to do $80,000 a month in like groceries? That's
That's what they're talking about. How fast is the trucks coming in and going out? Constantly. And how many people flying in and flying out? That's going on. Who's racking up the cash register? You gotta get the top person to be 10K. Wow, let's go further in the street to see if this is going to be on the lines. Feel free to go over there and check it out. That's the kind of right now, just hang up, get back with you, and hope you enjoyed the show. Show the clips. And remember, y'all, visual recovery is the inside.